So now we talk about the bond market. So first question, what is a bond? A bond, a bond is a financial instrument. A bond is a financial instrument of, a bond is a financial instrument of indebtedness, of indebtedness, indebtedness of the bond issuer. So bond issuer means the authority which issues the bond. For example, in KVP, it is the government. Okay, bond issuer to the holders. So when you buy a KVP, you become the holder of that bond, and it is issued by the government. So it's an instrument of indebtedness. That means a very strong thing. That means one can view the bond market as a loan market of a different kind, right? Different kind in the sense where someone is not going to the bank and asking for loan given some mortgage. No, this is not the case. But whatever be the case that we'll delve into, it can be seen as a different kind of a loan market. All right. Now, there can be many types of bond. So, depending on the issuing authority. So, the issuing authority can be government, as we have just seen, or corporate, for which you get all these credit ratings. Okay. So now, since it is an instrument of indebtedness, what is the type of this indebtedness? The issuer, that one who is issuing, the issuer owes to the holder. The issuer owes to the holder. So by this we mean that if the government is promising double the money and you are buying a KVP, then basically you become the holder of the bond, and it is something like, it is practically like you have lent your money, okay? You have lent your money to the government to do some works involving government expenditure. And why? Because the government promised that it will double your money. Okay. So now, when a bond is issued, there has to be some payments made to the lender or the holder of the bond, right? So what are those payments? Because it is those payments because of which you are buying the bond. So the issuer is obliged to pay. The issuer is obliged to pay, number one, interest rate or interest payment. So here comes the interest rate, okay, which is otherwise known as coupon rate. So for example, we found that the compound interest rate that it will be provided with or it will be promised under KVP of a length of 113 months is 7.6%. Okay. All right. So interest rate payment or coupon rate, that's the coupon rate. We use a different term. Okay. And what is number two? Number two is principal. That is the amount that you paid in the first case. So you buy a KVP of, let's say, 50,000, right? So that's your principal. So principal on When? Principal on maturity. Principal on maturity. Okay. So as I said, that bond is a form of loan. Is a form of loan. And who is the lender? The lender is the holder of the bond. And who is the borrower? The borrower is the issuer of the bond. So there you have someone lending money to someone for capital investment, and why he is lending it? Because he finds the interest payment or the coupon rate quite attractive. Okay. Now, generally the bonds that we talk about, they are long-term bonds. As I said, that government issues bond to meet its own government expenditure, and most of them are long term. One of the famous example I have given all the time is the war bonds that were sold by United States during World War II to meet their expenditure on World War. Okay. Now, it's not that bonds are always long term. Okay. There can be short term bonds, and we have several different names for them. So some of the example of short-term bonds are, I will say two. Number one is certificate of deposit. Certificate of deposit. We sometimes read as CDs. So certificate of deposit. Then there is commercial papers known as CPs, etc. Okay. All right. Now, now we come to a very important difference between bond market and stock or equity. Why this comparison? Two reasons. The practical reason is that as an alternative investment to encash the asset value of money, the other one or other instrument which can compete with bond is stocks. This is the first reason. And the second is, you have studied in user cost of capital that the three rate of interests that we have considered, the other two are one of bond and the other was from equity. Now, what are the differences? Because more often than not, I have seen that people are confused between bond and stocks. Whenever you say bond, they interpret it as something like stock, which it is definitely not. Stocks are very, very different from bond by their agreements, by their nature of interest payments, and the most important, by their uncertainty. So these two are different. Let's see what are the points of difference. Okay. So number one, when you buy a stock, okay, stock makes you owner of a company. So you buy shares. So by that, you invest in a company in the sense that you become the owner of a company. Okay. So it can be 0.0001%, but you are owner of that 0.001%. Okay. So that's why investors can become owner of say 20% or 30% of a company by buying the shares at retail prices. All right. The second, and while bond is what? Bond makes you lender. Bond makes you lender. You loan them money. similar to banks, I would say. But the difference is you don't loan them money because they have certain mortgages. You loan them because they are guaranteeing you interest rate. Okay. Now, the second point of difference, which is very important. What happens when a company is bankrupt? So, in bankruptcy, the first team that will be paid their money back are called secured creditors. Okay? Secured creditors. So that means people who obviously lend money like you, but they are secured. So they will be paid first. They are kind of the actual owners. Okay? So secured creditors. Number two. Then comes bondholders. Then comes bondholders. And in the third comes equity holders or equity owners. So secured creditors, bondholders, and equity owners. So that's why when a company goes to bankruptcy, often it happens that equity owners do not get any money at all. But on the other hand, given the risk, the expected return of an equity owner is obviously much higher than bondholders. Okay. Now, so that's how bond and stocks are different. And Keynes talked about bonds. He did not talk about stock. Okay. Now, another term related to bond is maturity. And by this time you understand what maturity is that 9 years and 5 months or 113 months, that is there for KBP. So in technical terms, it is the time length in completion of which the bond can be redeemed. So the time length in completion of which the bond can be redeemed. If you have gone through the details of KBP, then you'll see that before 113 months, it cannot be redeemed. By redeem, we mean you will get the money back. Okay, now, again, this is common, but then again, both in Keynes's model and in Tobin's model, mostly in Tobin's model, we are not considering this kind of a bond which is redeemable. We are considering a bond which is irredeemable. So I'll write the term which is irredeemable. That means cannot be redeemed. Obviously, you know that. Or there are other names for it, which has no maturity period. So these are famous in UK, in United Kingdom. There are many government bonds with no maturity at all. Okay, you can look into that by yourself out of interest. Or the names that we will use. Number one is perpetuity. So by perpetuity, we mean bonds which will guarantee interest payment, but which are irredeemable. Well, at least in your lifetime. Okay. Or another word that we use is console. Okay. So what are the terms? So there is irredeemable bond with no maturity, which is called perpetuity or console. The reason of considering them in our models is very basic. You can use the rules of infinite series. That's the reason. But anyways, that makes actually calculation easier. That's what I'm saying. Now, okay. Now, in stock market, if you invest, you do not always know actually the interest payment that you are going to gain. Okay, if you have ever invested or if you invest in future, know this. They organize what is called board meeting. Okay, and in board meeting they decide how much uh, payment would be made to the investor per stock. But that is not the case for bond. In bonds, so in bonds, coupon rate, so that is your interest rate, is fixed, in advance. For example, 7.6%, it is already fixed. And the price, so that is 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees or whatever. So the price of the bond, no, I'm sorry, price of the bond is determined by the market. Okay, so what is the price of the bond? Okay, so what is the price of the bond? To put it very simply, price of the bond is the price of the tradable bond is price of the, I'll use this term, there is no point in writing it explicitly in answers or something, because this is a, what is a tradable bond and what is a not tradable bond. They are intricacies of finance market. They are intricacies of finance market, and currently we are not going into all that. Anyways, so what is the price? The price is simply the NPV of a bond. The price is simply not of a bond. That will be not, that will not be the correct statement. The price is the NPV of what? NPV of future returns. Okay. So the price is the NPV. The same NPV that we have discussed in investment. All right. Now, okay. Now we'll talk about some of the features of bond, which I have said, but I will mention them again. Number one is, so some of the features, okay, of the bonds. You can say features, you can say terms related to bond market. Okay, both will work equally well. Anyways, so first is the principal or nominal or face value of a bond. What is that? The principal or nominal or face value of a bond. What is that? It is that amount on which interest is paid. On which interest is paid. Okay. So, for example, I'll go slightly a little extra. For example, if you see that the compound interest rate is 7.6%, you must know that the banks or the financial authorities, they generally they deliver or they credit the interest rate payments after completion of a quarter. Okay, so quarterly paid. If you say look at other investment options, or even in terms of sometimes in when you do fixed deposits, you will see that in the document it is written how the interest will be paid to you. For example, monthly, quarterly, yearly, okay, or annually, what to say. All right. And just to say, always choose quarterly payment of interest rate. Okay. Because it is because banks calculate interest rates quarterly. All right. Okay. So face value of a bond, what is that? It is that amount on which interest is paid and principal is paid on maturity. Okay. So face value of a bond includes both of them. The, the amount on which interest is paid and principal is paid on maturity. Okay. Now, apart from coupon rate, there are other rates which are there in bond market. Okay. One of the famous term is yield rate of a bond. Okay. Now, there are two kinds of yields that we talk about in bond market. One is current yield. Okay. That means if you are investing in a bond, you are investing money, right? So how much you will actually get investing 1 rupee? That's the question. So there are two things. Number one is current yield. Current yield means how much you are getting it now. So this is defined as annual interest payment, divided by, so I'll say it again, current yield is annual interest payment divided by current market price. I know you have probably never bought a corporate bond, so it is a bit difficult all the time to gauge this, because obviously buying a government bond is much easier task, right? And buying KVP is much easier than even NSC, that is National Savings Certificate. You can look into that also as an example. Okay, so one is current yield, that your return on 1 rupee, to be very specific now. So that will be annual interest payment, that the money that you will get divided by current market price. Okay. Number two is yield to maturity. Yield to maturity. So what is that? That is our old internal rate of return. That is our old internal rate of return. So now you can understand why we are studying investments and demand for money together, because they are related. Yes. So this internal rate of return that we have studied in Fishers. And that is quite expected, right? Because if the market price of a bond is basically the NPV of the future returns, then definitely the yield to maturity, that when all of this bond maturity and interest payments, all of this cycle has completed, obviously the rate of return that we'll have on maturity is internal rate of return, right? Now, just to give you an idea of the fact that KVP is not the only kind of bond that you can expect. Depending on how interest payment is made, there are many types of bonds, and we will talk about only three. We will mention rather only three, and they are quite clear by their names. Number one is fixed rate bonds. Okay. So those bonds which will give a fixed rate of return like KVP. Number two is floating rate. You understand where the rates will change. And number three is floating, this will be floating rate notes or FRNs. And number three is, which we will be interested about, is perpetuity, that is irredeemable kind. Okay. Now, after having all this detailed study of bond market, I must say that what Keynes talked about is a bond market where there is a representative kind of interest rate R. Okay, so in Keynesian theory of speculative demand for money, we are going to talk about a bond market's behavior where the bond market will have perpetuity. However, as we said, and as we'll maintain there will be market price of a bond that I said just, which is an NPV. There will be yield to maturity, which is internal rate of return, which is a question of query to the investors, okay, that we have dealt with. Now we will have rate of interest, that is the interest rate payment. Here we talked about, okay, all those features will be there. Now, since we will be considering bond market with a change in interest rate, we will talk about expectation. So the perpetuity that we'll be talking about, or the bond market that we'll be talking about, will have change in interest rate. Okay, it's not only government bonds with fixed rate of interest. Now, after finishing all of this, and just before ending, I'll mention one important thing. And that important thing is, you see, rate of interest R was there in classical. And as we are saying, rate of interest R is there in Keynes also. But what is the difference? The huge difference is in classical, R was determined when we talked about composition of output or the supplied output, how it is going to be divided between C, I, and G. That is where we found interest rate. But in Keynesian system, R is determined in the money market. So R in Keynesian market balances between money demand and money supply. Okay. The avenue through which R enters demand for money is speculative demand for money. And in speculative demand for money, the alternative asset that we have considered is bond market. I talked at length about bond market, but in Keynesian structure, we will be mostly interested in the interest payment, and we will be interested in people's expectations or the lenders or bondholders' expectation regarding this interest rate, and we'll see how that generates the curve of speculative demand for money.